You finally reach the finish line.
You buy the house, get the promotion, find the ideal partner. For a few days, or maybe just a few hours, the euphoria is real. But soon after, in the silence of a Sunday night, it returns. The emptiness, the familiar anxiety, the relentless feeling that something is still missing. Civilization has spent your entire life whispering in your ear that happiness is a geographical or financial destination. A simple equation: make the sacrifice now and rest easy later. And then, when you manage to achieve your goal, you feel ungrateful. You look at everything you've built and come to the conclusion that something is wrong. And the self-help industry makes billions telling you that you just need to be more grateful. Meditate more. Fix your perspective.
But you are not wrong. What you feel is not a character flaw. It is the coldest, most perfect genetic engineering operating inside your cortex. Nature doesn't care about your peace of mind. For your genetic code, permanent happiness is not a natural state. Biologically speaking, it is a death sentence.
Evolution is a blind calculator. It does not measure the quality of your life, your inner peace, or your sense of fulfillment. It measures only one thing: your ability to survive long enough to pass your genetic code on. To understand the chemical trap you live in, we need to go back 100,000 years in time, to the unforgiving plains of the African savanna. Imagine two of our primitive ancestors. Both find a tree heavy with fruit, a rare, vital, and calorie-dense resource. The first ancestor eats until he is full. His brain shuts down every survival alarm. He feels a deep and genuine inner peace. He lies down in the shade, relaxes, and thinks, "This is enough. I am happy." The second ancestor also eats his fill. But a few minutes after eating, the chemical architecture of his brain changes. A subconscious voice begins to scream, "What about tomorrow? What if another tribe finds this tree? What if winter comes early? I need more." He does not relax. He feels an anxiety tingling in his muscles. He gets up, begins to gather the rest of the fruit, sharpen spears, build defenses, and patrol the territory. What happened to the first ancestor? The fully happy individual. He was devoured by a leopard while sleeping satisfied in the shade. His genetic lineage was summarily erased from the history of the planet. Permanent happiness has no survival value. You are here watching this video because you are a direct descendant of the second ancestor, the anxious one, the paranoid one, the chronically dissatisfied one. Nature did not select the peaceful. It selected the obsessed. Your brain is not sick for always wanting more. It was literally sculpted and refined over millions of years with a single purpose: to ensure that your contentment is always temporary. Pop science and wellness culture have told you a dangerous half-truth. They said that dopamine is the happiness hormone. This is a biological lie. Dopamine is not the reward. It is the anticipation. It is the chemical itch that forces you to seek the reward. When you are about to close an important deal, buy a new car, or start a relationship, your dopamine levels surge. Your brain floods you with focus, energy, and the absolute promise that as soon as you get it, everything will be fine. You will be complete. But at the exact moment you hold the achievement in your hands, the dopamine crashes. Evolution has fulfilled its role. The system shuts down the euphoria, and what is left is the void of reality. Psychology and biology call this the hedonic treadmill. In 1978, researchers Philip Brickman, Dan Coates, and Ronnie Janoff-Bulman from Northwestern University
conducted what would become one of the most disturbing psychological studies in modern history. They decided to test the absolute limits of the hedonic treadmill. To do this, they did not use ordinary people. They selected two groups at the opposite extremes of human fate. Group 1, people who had just won millions in the lottery. Group 2, people who had just suffered tragic accidents and been left paralyzed, paraplegic or quadriplegic. The obvious assumption of society was that the millionaires would be in a state of continuous ecstasy, and the accident victims would be at the bottom of a permanent depressive abyss. But biology has a colder mathematics.
Just a few months after the events that changed their lives, the nervous systems of both groups began to recalibrate. The study revealed that the lottery winners did not report being significantly happier than ordinary people. Worse, the small joys of everyday life, like talking to a friend or eating something delicious, lost their appeal for the millionaires, overshadowed by the artificial peak of wealth. On the other hand, the paralysis victims, after the initial period of grief, reported daily happiness levels incredibly close to their original baseline before the accident. The conclusion of the study: evolution pulled both extremes back to the center. The millions did not guarantee peace. The tragedy did not destroy the instinct to live. Your brain possesses a satisfaction thermostat that does not care about your bank account or your losses. It will always, inevitably, drag you back to the baseline. If you were able to retain the joy of an achievement forever, you would stop acting. You would stop hunting. You would stop competing. Evolution uses dopamine as an unreachable carrot dangling in front of your face. It ensures that you never, ever stop walking.
Accepting this evolutionary truth is not pessimism. It is the most liberating act a modern human being can commit. Society wants to sell you the idea that frustration, boredom, and dissatisfaction are flaws that need to be cured, medicated, fixed. They make you feel guilty for not smiling every day. But when you understand your biology, the weight of the world simply disappears. The chronic dissatisfaction you feel is not a failure of yours. It is the whisper of evolution, ensuring that your lineage does not disappear. Stop fighting your own engineering. Stop searching for a finish line that never existed. The next time the emptiness hits on a Sunday night, or the day after a great achievement, do not worry. Just observe that emptiness. Recognize it for what it is, an ancient survival mechanism operating with absolute perfection. You didn't fail at being happy. You merely succeeded at being human.